All right, everyone. Now we have official confirmation. Ronna McDaniel, also known as McDaniel, will be out after Super Tuesday. So she's no longer going to be the head of the RNC. This is at Trump's request. He said, stand down. We want new leadership because the current leadership isn't working too well. You've got numerous state parties that are effectively broke. The RNC at large is not doing its job, and people understand this. Fuck, even the missing link Republicans like Ted Cruz, they comprehend that the RNC has been dysfunctional for a while. You look at the 2020 election, or in 22, they've refused repeatedly to defend candidates and to fund candidates and to proxy for candidates that have represented MAGA populism. They've thrown them under the bus in favor of liberal Democrats a number of times. I mean, this isn't just the RNC. You look at the money appropriated by Mitch McConnell that he threw into the 2020 Alaskan Senate race. This was Murkowski via Shibaka. They're both Republicans, but he tossed $10 million into the race to support Murkowski. Why? You could have flipped any of the other close Senate seats with that extra money. It would have been easy. Herschel Walker could have won. Mehmet Oz could have won. Blake Masters could have won. You could have done these things. The RNC and the party leadership, being neocons, has done very poorly over the last election cycles. Their go-to excuse is that it's Trump's fault. Well, he fields weak candidates. Well, it doesn't matter how strong a candidate is if nobody is actually pitching for them. Trump cannot individually fund literally every candidate on the roster that he's fielding as his sort of MAGA team. It's not, it can't happen. The money is simply not there. The logistics aren't there. Normally, a political party attempts to get its own candidates to win, but the RNC hasn't been doing that, and that's why you've suffered a string of defeats in 2020 and 2022. Now, it's interesting because Whatley is billed as Trump's choice for the new RNC head, but Laura Trump actually is going to be in a powerful position there too, and I think that this is a bellwether of what's to come. Trump intends to strong-arm the party into supporting his MAGA populist base. He intends to force the party to do its job. Meanwhile, maybe he'll return the favor. Drain some money from some of the vulnerable neocons that aren't going to go along with his policies anyway and are just dead weight. Then cycle them out and replace them with MAGA populists the next time around, in the 26 midterms or something like that. Effectively setting up to create a party that will actually represent that particular agenda. As opposed to having this weird hodgepodge party where you have corporate neocons that want big spending and war and stuff like that, and don't care about censorship. They don't want to lower taxes on the working and middle class. You swap that out for a populistic ideology, so that becomes the dominant one. When that ideology becomes the dominant one, and this is the foreshock of us seeing that potentially, and I hope that it succeeds, then the neocons will be the ones that suffer. They can slowly be shuffled off out of the party and swept aside without too much trouble. But you need to control the purse strings. You need to control the organizational structure of the party. That's why Laura Trump wasn't chosen to be absolute head of it, because it would look nepotistic. But putting her there in that tertiary position of power is a pretty good indicator that Trump intends for her to be the one leaning into the ear of whoever heads the RNC, presumptively again Whatley, and telling them effectively what to do. So the Trumps will be in charge of the RNC in everything but name. I support this. It's also an attempt to set up for a political dynasty. So this goes beyond this particular election or even the next couple. This goes into the conundrum of 28. Who is the successor for Donald Trump? He wants it to be someone who will stick with that same core ideology, because I genuinely believe that he believes it's a better ideology than neoconservatism. This has always been partially about Trump's ego, but the way that he feeds his ego is by success. We've seen this for decades. He doesn't like it when he doesn't succeed. He was very, very angry about Atlantic casinos, I'm sure. Atlantic City. Those didn't do so well. I think Trump Steaks went under as well. Trump Wine is still there. Trump Tower is still there, although Letitia James wants to confiscate it. Still got the Mar-a-Lago, etc. He's got properties all around the world and a major brand. But he doesn't like to lose at all. He's the sort of person who would really like to use cheat codes in the video game. In this case, though, people are trying to use cheat codes against him, and somehow it's not working too well. Subsuming the party's organizational structure by putting Laura Trump on there, by very, very publicly shaming and backing down Ronna McDaniel is a power move by Donald Trump. And it shows that he wants to mint somebody who comes after him. Watch 2028. Trump is definitely going to be attempting to promote and field somebody that's kind of in his image. Could be a nepotistic move. It could be like Don Jr. or something like that. I would look askance to that because I'm not a fan of dynastic politics. It's like, okay, you did a good job, but I don't know that the person that comes after simply because they have your last name will. Don Jr. I think would do a good job, or Eric Trump actually for that matter, although I think he's more of a business person. He seems less inclined to weigh in on politics. That'd be fine. I would look askance to it. It's more likely to be someone outside of the Trump family. And he wants to make sure that that actually happens, that the neocons don't immediately just come back, resubsume the power structure, snuff out what's left of MAGA. We don't know what the proportion will be after the subsequent election and then the midterms, and then take control again, reconvert the GOP into the party of W. Because then they'll go back to being losers again, which is what they want. Neocons don't want to win. They want to lose with dignity so that they can get a consulting position or a deal on TV hawking some cheap merch or something like that. Here's your power scooters, only here, advertising on Fox News. Yeah, hover around. You remember those commercials? You know, there's those old ladies on the hover rounds shouting out over the Grand Canyon. Yeah, that looked safe. Anyway, Ronna McDaniel will be gone. And probably Mitch McConnell will be gone soon too. I mean, he's on his last leg. He's got numerous mental and other health issues. So the old neocons are being swept away. It's no longer the party of George W. Some people say, well, that means it's no longer the party of sense and conservative reason. No, it means not. It's no longer the party of warmongers. It's no longer the party of infinite corporate spending. It's no longer the party of vaguely slowing down the so-called progressive, aka communist agenda. It's a party that actually stands for something. And it required a goddamn business dem from the 80s to accomplish that. So congrats to Trump, yet another victory. That's about all. Peace out.